Large craters are formed when large meteoroids fall to the Earth. These are called meteor craters. Another type of craters are the erupted pits, which are called explosion craters. These types of craters, which have circular or oval shapes, appear in their initial state or in the regions where they have ended up extinct. The slopes of the craters are steep and their diameters generally vary between 400 to 500 meters. Water accumulates in some crater lakes, forming explosion craters and lakes. There are crater lakes in different parts of Turkey. Lake Nemrut on Mount Nemrut is the largest crater lake in Turkey. Source: Web. Now, these crater lakes are formed in two ways. One is due to the effects of volcanoes and the other is due to meteors. I can accept the volcano craters, but the meteor craters issue is a bit tricky. Namely, if these were meteor damages, the world would have deviated from its orbit by meters, not millimeters or centimeters, by now, and it would have caused a lot of damage on the world, just like the damage caused by a cluster bomb. In other words, they could not only dig a 5 to 10 meter hole, they could also rid the world of holes. There are billions of meteors, most of which are made of iron, wandering around outside. Just think, not many, if 1,000 of them decide to hit the Earth, and if they don't break the Earth into pieces, I don't know anything either. All joking aside, my friends, but isn't this what we were taught in school? Well, there are trillions of stray meteors floating around in millions of galaxies in the universe, but for some reason only a few, one or two, land on Earth. Look at that. How interesting. Also, it's meaningful that they call meteors iron, metal. Huge iron masses suddenly turned into a poof after creating a huge hole where they fell. It's a really convincing story. If we say that it was destroyed by the impact, wouldn't these meteors, which contain such hard and dense materials, have melted despite being exposed to friction until they fell? You know, they used to say that meteors cannot harm us because of the protective layer of the Earth. Well, if we say that they did not melt, how could these meteors that did not melt due to friction, turn into dust upon impact? Who can explain this contradiction to me? Has anyone ever seen such a huge meteor? I've never seen one. I told you that the colonialist capitalist tyrants had weapons of destruction, terror in their hands, and I explained them one by one. Very dangerous weapons. Weapons that are dangerous enough to create these craters and flatten the Earth. The weapons they used when they said they destroyed the nations and the weapons they are still using. Taha 105. They ask you about the mountains. Say, my Lord will scatter them and scatter them. You should not trust the science or religion of the Zionists. Additional information. Turkey's largest crater lake is Nemrut. You all know the story of Nemrut being thrown into the fire. I won't go into detail and I'll just ask you to visualize how this lake might have actually formed. Forget religious tales. Think along the lines of what I've described here and do some research on the Semipalatinsk test site topic. I'm sure you'll be amazed.